I flew in from Vegas.
Oh, yes.
I'm going from here to Austin right after this.
Yeah.
And then from Austin to New York to Abu Dhabi to London, and then back to Vegas.
Oh, I'm exhausted for you.
Yeah, me too.
Welcome to Khloé in Wonderland. Today's guest is the one and only Dana White, the unapologetic force behind one of the biggest sports empires in the world. Why do you think fighting is so universal?
It's just something inside us as human beings. We are fascinated by who the toughest person in the world is. We are all drawn to it. You don't find out who's who and what's what until hits the fan. Here comes COVID, and you're looking at laying off 38% of the staff. There's no way in hell that I was going to let that happen. You can only be canceled if you allow people that you don't give a about to cancel you.
Right.
You have a core that you care about that are your people. I mean, if they cancel you, that's a whole nother story.
Right, and then you should.
Who gives a what everybody else
care.
thinks?
I agree.
Raw energy. I'm blowing house down. Let's go.
Thank you for coming all the way from Vegas.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. My brother is so excited. He was telling me all about your slap boxing and all that kind of stuff. So he's big.
I haven't seen your brother in a minute. It's been a long time since I've seen your brother. Yeah, probably over 10 years.
Oh my God. Yeah, my brother loves to be a little elusive. So he is, I call him like the wizard from The Wizard of Oz, because he likes to be behind the curtain.
Right.
We all live in the same gated area, so he lives right next door to me. But we were working out together, and I said I was going to see you this week, and he was broing out for sure and telling me all these stats. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to retain all of that. But he's obsessed with you. But I am such a fan of yours, but maybe for different reasons than most of your normal fans. Like,
Well, thank you.
I am such a fan of, I think, number one, your loyalty just to people. And this is all from afar. I don't know you on a personal level.
Right.
But I think if anyone pays attention to you or sees clips of you, your loyalty is unmatched and it comes through the screen.
Well, thank you.
Something that I read about you is during COVID, when everyone was laying people off, people were losing their jobs left and right, that you were like, it, I'm not, or you, I'm not going to lay anybody off. Everyone's going to keep their jobs. And if I read correctly, you were going to take a pay cut in order for everyone to keep theirs.
Not a pay cut. I was going to give up my salary and bonus.
Got it.
If I was wrong and we couldn't go through, because I was going to go through COVID no matter what. And that actually COVID is the perfect example of loyalty. And you don't find out who's who and what's what until the hits the fan, right? We all love each other, and we're here until you hit hard times. In any relationship, you don't find out until you hit hard times. And sponsors too. I don't even want to be with a sponsor that I'm not aligned with, and that, in as many ways as possible, because I had some sponsors going through COVID that were nightmares, and paying us big money, but absolute nightmares. I wouldn't sign a deal with them again if they tripled the number.
Damn.
Seriously.
Damn.
But yeah, so after we did The Ultimate Fighter, the UFC was this rocket ship of success. And, we're all working hard and doing our thing. And we throw these unbelievable Christmas parties every year for the team. It's an HR nightmare. Like, I encourage everybody to get drunk and have a blast. And, they're fun. We've had like the Red Hot Chili Peppers play at our Christmas parties.
Oh,
Snoop, you name them.
Yeah.
We've had everybody play, and it's a blast. And I get up there every year and tell my team how much I love them and how much they mean to me and all this stuff. So then here comes COVID, and, probably the scariest time in our lifetime. And you're looking at laying off 38% of the staff.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, you love us, but
Right.
and we're so important to you. And now here's the scariest time, that there's no way in hell that I was going to let that happen. No way in hell. We were either going to figure this out, or we were going to all go down together. So, I put up my salary and my bonus. If I was wrong, and we couldn't make it through COVID, then, you know, then the
So
company
be it.
didn't take the hit.
Your obvious determination in your way, you know how to build a business. I really admire that, but also your family unity. It reminds me so much of me and my family. Your love and loyalty to your kids and your wife. It's so much how you resemble so much of my dad to me, how he was viciously with his family.
Well, thank you.
And still being able to be a badass businessman. Like that's how my dad was. And I don't know if you get enough credit for that. I think people talk about your loyalty a lot.
It's important to me. If you don't have loyalty, what do you have? I mean, really, what do you have? If you can't trust the people you're around and with, and I mean, my people at UFC, a lot of them have been with me for, you know, the girl who's out in the hallway right now, my head of PR, has been with me forever, and yeah, we're all tight. These are the people that I work with every day and travel with and do everything with, and yeah, we're all incredibly loyal to each other. Loyalty is a two-way street, so
Yeah.
they've been very loyal to me, and I've been very loyal to them.
It is. But you still have this presence about you that's like, don't with me, but I'm going to ride for you if you ride for me. And how do you find that balance?
Huh.
Or what
good
is that
question.
balance?
I don't know. I think that anything in life, like you see a lot of these people that work for companies, and you give so much of yourself when you work. Time, energy, sacrifice, things you miss. You know, everybody has their things in their life, whether it's your kids, you miss the first step, you miss plays, you miss practices, you miss games, all these things for, you know, you have to make a living, but you're doing it for this company, and you start to feel a sense of loyalty to either the people you work for, the place you work for, whatever it is. And when that loyalty isn't reciprocated, it's a feeling. Like my offices in Vegas, I have this massive closet in there with all my clothes and all my, you know, all your that you want, whether you want to change or you work out or you do whatever. I have a crazy gym, spa. You know, I do all this, you know, cold plunging and sauna. I've literally the whole setup there. I have the entire setup at my house too, so there's never any excuses on why you can't do it. But you spend most of your time at work.
Right.
You at least want to love the people that you go to work with every day, and you know, yeah. Hopefully, you care about them in some way, shape, or form, and they feel the same way about you.
I think it shows with the people you have around you. I think especially the longevity, because that's what you were saying. You've had people around you for such a long time. And I don't know if this will make sense, but to me, I also think it's because you're from the East Coast. Like, I feel like there is a difference in East Coast men versus West Coast men.
Right.
I think that. I was married to a New Yorker, and it's just a different vibe and energy.
Yeah, I'm lucky because I got the best of both worlds. I had East Coast and West Coast growing up, so
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't change that in a million years.
Yeah.
I'm really lucky that I had both.
Yeah, I think it's the best. I really do. Your family unity and like your love for your kids. You have 2 sons and a daughter, correct?
Right.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
So my boys are 22 and 23, and my daughter's 18.
That poor daughter.
Yeah, no, it's good for her. She's
No, it's great for her.
She's well protected.
That's what I mean. It's great for her, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to be between 16 to 20 being your kid or having brothers. I'm sure your sons are viciously protective
Yeah,
over
it's
her.
built-in security.
Yeah.
I love it. It's perfect. It couldn't have worked out any better. That, you know, I had 2 boys older than her, and then, you know, my wife had a tubular pregnancy, so her tube burst and her other tube was kinked, and they said that she couldn't have any more kids. So we had 2 boys. We were good, you know. And then we were in Cabo, and she didn't feel good, and she was feeling sick, and ended up she was pregnant with my daughter. So
No way.
yeah, and me and my daughter are super tight. We just flew to she's going to the University of Miami. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Congratulations.
we just went and toured the campus on Monday, and yeah, she's living down in San Diego. She loves it down there. We were on vacation, in Italy, and she busts out with, "I want to move to San Diego and go to Cathedral."
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
And you just let her go?
Well, we looked into it and liked it, and it was actually a great move. She ended up doing her last 2 years of high school there. She loved the school. She loved the teachers, the kids. It was the right move.
My mom's from La Jolla, so I'm
Okay.
familiar with San Diego.
I love it down there.
It's so nice down there.
It really is.
I think that's, to me, if you can, I think that's amazing that she took that step for high school, because now she's going to go to another state.
Yep.
But she's close enough to be, closer to you than all the way in Florida. So that's still, my daughter will be 7 in April, and I'm not ready.
Yeah, I know you're never ready. It's weird when the house starts to empty out and
I
you
know.
lose a certain energy in the house. But
Well, your boys don't live with you, or do they?
no, the boys are both gone. My oldest lives in Boston now. He moved to Boston. He's working for Fanatics.
Nice.
And he's gonna go to grad school out there. And then
Awesome.
my younger son actually is into anime, and he did a comic that's coming out with Dark Horse.
Oh, that's so
yeah,
cool.
probably the end of this year. So
That's so cool. Well, congratulations on all of them.
thank you.
So you're going to be an empty nester.
Yeah, I'm a couple months away.
That's a trip. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to like being an empty nester.
Yeah, you
I
won't.
really
I
do.
can guarantee
I
it.
I won't.
You and your whole family live in the same cul-de-sac. You're definitely not going to like being an
Yeah.
empty nester.
No, I'll probably shave my head and go nuts or something, or buy a ton of animals.
Or buy the houses next door to you and they'll live there.
Well, what I think I'm doing now is I'm sort of brainwashing my kids to think this is normal to live next to your mom. So
Right.
then when I'm old enough, they're just going to think this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
So
no, that's awesome.
a little brainwashing is
Yeah,
fine.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And it's awesome that you have a tight family. When you think about the fact that you guys film together, work together, do everything together, and still have such a great relationship, it's amazing.
We have our moments that we
Yeah.
want to kill each other, but we
Every
always
family
come
does.
back. Yes. And that's something that our dad really instilled in us. My dad's Armenian, and I really think there's a lot of that culture that's just embedded in you. Like, doesn't matter. You figure it out. You never, like, the people that are like, I haven't spoke to my sister in 3 years. Like, that would never be us.
Right.
It's just not an option for us. And then when my dad died, my mom still instilled the same ethics and morals that my dad was building in us.
Is your mom Armenian?
No.
No.
But she definitely took on the Armenian culture as
Right.
much. My grandma made sure of that.
That's awesome.
For your confidence and your loyalty, where do you think you get that from?
I don't know. Yeah, listen, my mom was crazy. We're sitting here talking about family. My mom was nuts. And my dad was never around. So I think that me and my sister grew up fast. You know, we were home alone a lot because we had a single mom who was a nurse. She worked a lot. And, we grew up in the 80s when, it was a lot different growing up then than it is now.
Yes.
You know, my parents were obviously much different parents. My kids were never allowed to sleep anywhere, go sleep over anybody's house or any of that kind of. So me and my sister did whatever we wanted to. We had to come home and do our chores and that kind of stuff, and then but we were pretty much on our own. So I think that we grew up a lot faster than my kids definitely did.
Why? So I don't let my kids sleep anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm very strict about it. Times are different. So I won't let my daughter or my son, who's 2.5, but they're not allowed to have sleepovers just because I'm one of those type of, I think too much. I've watched too
No, I
much
get it.
Dateline.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know you don't sugarcoat really anything, which is why I love you. But what is something that people waste too much time worrying about that you don't think they should?
That's a great question. I love solving
Yes.
problems. I love coming up with solutions to.
You're very solution based.
Yeah, that's my whole deal.
That is very much my mom, and I think that quality in people can't really be learned. I think you're born like that,
Yeah,
and you just innately have this desire to always figure out.
yeah, and you have to love to get in the pocket and love stress and It's a very sick, weird thing. It's like if everything's going too smooth, I sort of have to shake shit up and create more problems.
Well, knowing that you're that type of person, do you think you're ever going to retire?
No,
Right.
no,
I don't think so either.
I can't imagine it.
I can't imagine my mom retiring either. I think you need that stimulation mentally. And I also think that once people do retire and your brain isn't working, that's when your body really slows down.
It's true. I've heard that. I don't know that for a fact, but I've heard it. And, when you talk about retiring and me retiring, I'm taking on more every day instead of retiring. It's
Right.
like the UFC isn't enough. That's not enough of a job to do. Now I'm doing, like your brother told you, power slap. I got boxing now. Was in boxing meetings all day yesterday. So keep piling it on. I love it.
Yeah, I think the more, the better, and it keeps you distracted from life and just keeps you going. I think people who work more, like if they love to work, if it's healthy for them mentally, that they live longer.
Well, this too. You've taken your health serious over the last several years. That's a full-time job. I mean, you start cold plunging and sauna and all the other biohacking. I mean, it eats up half your day.
Half your day. I love biohacking.
I do too.
Oh my God. The that we have access to now.
It's incredible.
I heard you see Dr. Gary from Florida.
Gary Brecka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met with him a few times. I think when we're in town, he gives us IVs and stuff. But
I think you guys had him before I ever met him.
he's
you guys were working with
really
him. Yeah.
smart. Biohacking. I met with Brian Johnson. Do you know who he is?
Yeah. Guy spends like $2 million a year biohacking.
But to pick his brain and see what he does, it's truly his full-time job, and
Right.
it's incredible.
That's when it becomes obsessive.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I feel like I'm obsessive right now. He's a whole nother level. When you're living to try to live longer.
Yeah, no, it's not obtainable. Like, that's not realistic for my day-to-day.
Me neither.
But everyone's different. But it's fascinating what he does, and it's what we have the opportunities to do.
It's so true. The knowledge that we have now that they didn't have 25 years ago.
Right.
Is fascinating. Yeah, I love it. And I'm not really trying to live. I'm not trying to live to be 100 or any of that kind of shit. I just want to have a good quality of life while I'm alive.
Did you know Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the U.S. with thousands of different plants and over 2 million happy customers? They have all the plants your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. Whatever plants you're interested in, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. Find the perfect fit for your climate and space. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. Order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days without ever leaving your home. Their Alive and Thrive guarantee ensures your plants arrive happy and healthy. Plus, get support from trained plant experts on call to help you plan your landscape, choose the right plants, and learn how to care for them. Fast Growing Trees personally sent me a lemon tree that I absolutely love to use for me and my kids. We love to pick lemons in our yard and use them in our morning tea. We absolutely love our lemon tree from Fast Growing Trees. You don't have to drive around to nurseries and big garden centers to choose plants from a limited assortment. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to order online, and your plants are delivered to your door in just a few days. I love that you can talk to a plant expert about your soil type, landscape design, how to take care of your plants, and everything else you need. No green thumb required. This spring, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listeners to our show get 15% off their first purchase when using the code Khloe at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code Khloe at checkout. fastgrowingtrees.com, code Khloe. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use Khloe to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply.
Let's be real. Finding clean, trustworthy, and effective supplements these days is hard. Too many brands hide behind fillers, mystery additives, and natural flavors just to cut corners and hope you won't notice. But here's the thing. Caring for your body shouldn't be that hard. That's why I love Symbiotica. The quality of their supplements is truly undeniable. It's something you can taste and feel in every packet. They are all natural, ethically sourced, and use cutting-edge absorption technology. This means you get all the nutrients right where you need them. These are truly the cleanest, most effective supplements out there. Plus, we have an exclusive offer just for our listeners today from our friends at Symbiotica, and we can't wait to share it with you. You guys have to try my recent favorite Symbiotica obsession, liposomal glutathione. It's called the master antioxidant for a reason. This stuff works. Did you know your body naturally makes glutathione, but as you hit your late 20s and 30s, those levels start to dip? Enter Symbiotica's liposomal glutathione. It helps recharge your cells, fight off toxins, and age gracefully. Just 1 packet a day, and you're giving your body the support it needs to thrive. It really is that easy. And let me tell you, after taking this product for a consistent month or 2, I feel different. Better, younger, firmer, brighter, more energized, all of it. You can even throw some packets into your purse or carry-on for a girls' trip like I did recently and save yourself the hangovers. Glutathione helps detox, so you're left feeling your best, even after a little overindulgence. Ready to glow from the inside out? Refresh your spring routine with 25% off and free shipping at symbiotica.com/Khloe. That's CYMBIOTIKA.com/Khloe for 25% off and free shipping.
So is it true? I read that, I'm probably messing this up, but maybe you did blood work and you were told you only had 10 years to live and then you adapted everything?
Well, no, what I found out is that he could tell you
Got it.
how long you could live. Then I became obsessed with that. I just wanted to know how long I was going to live.
But then that could be changed.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. He gave me 10.4 years.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely on point. I mean, I was a mess.
Really?
Yeah, I was a mess. And now me and my wife, when we think about the 10.4 years, we're like, it was probably earlier than that. I mean, I had
No
real bad
way.
sleep apnea.
Right.
Like I'd wake up choking in the middle of the night and like that, and my legs. I could barely put my shoes on.
Oh, that's horrible.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a mess. And you go see doctors, and the answer to all the problems is different pills or more pills, or, now I'm on no pills.
Which isn't doing.
Right.
What is your favorite, like, biohacking treatment?
Well, I'm addicted to cold plunging. I mean, every morning when I get up, I cold plunge,
I can't
sauna.
do that. That's the one thing I'm such a at the cold plunge.
Really?
Brad and
but
I talk about that.
a
Brad
lot
will
of
do it.
people
I
are.
can't do it.
A lot of people. It's funny how tough it is for a lot of people in the beginning when you first start, but then it becomes an absolute addiction. Like you got to know somebody that can't start their day without coffee, right? Mm-hmm. I can't start my day without cold plunge.
The cold plunge.
And if I do, I feel like as soon as I land anywhere, I go right to a cold plunge. Like I'm
wow.
flying from here to Austin. Mm-hmm. I'll have a cold plunge in Austin.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
They say it's better for you even than sauna, the cold plunge. People are now saying it's the best thing for you. It's just hard to get in that water.
No, it's legit.
You really would think
I'm
I
at a
had
point now,
frostbite.
no matter where I go, it could be 35 degrees, it could be 50 degrees. It doesn't bother me at all.
Oh
I
my God.
I can do any temperature. Yeah, I love it.
God, you really are a beast. It's amazing. What is an insane behind the scenes story with some fighters?
Oh man, I mean, there's been I've been doing this I've been in the business for 30 years. I've been doing this for like 25 years, but there's so many crazy stories. I mean, this business, the behind the scenes is where all the crazy shit happens, and negotiations and interactions with these guys, fight night backstage, when crazy shit happens. I don't know if there's any one crazy thing that stands out in my mind other than like the Conor situation in New York when he attacked the bus that Habib and those guys were on. Probably the craziest thing that's ever happened. And a couple of Diaz brothers incidents, which are all public. I mean, they fought and then they got to the hospital. They went to the same hospital and they ended up fighting in the hospital, which is probably the craziest story in the history of the sport, let alone the UFC.
Do you feel like you are sort of like a godfather / father to these guys, also a therapist, also not like a babysitter, but I feel like your position, you play so many fucking roles. That's not just
when the company was younger. Yes. When we were building the company, I had these relationships with the guys and girls too. I mean, me and Ronda Rousey, it was different then than it is now that it's so much bigger. But the answer was yes. It was very much like that in the early days.
Would you ever want your sons to be fighters?
My sons or my daughter, if that's what they wanted to do, I always tell, I'm not one of these guys like, oh, I want my kids to be a doctor or a lawyer or any of this. I just want my kids to be happy.
Right.
And better than anybody, whatever gets you up in the morning, whatever makes you happy, it could be pumping gas. I could give whatever makes you happy is what I want you to do. And if it was fighting, I would absolutely support it.
Why do you think fighting is so universal? Why do you think it's like, especially during COVID when everything was shut down and you saw what a peak it made and how it's on the up and up? Like, why do you think it's such a universal sport that people
It's a great
love
question.
to tune in?
It's just something inside us as human beings. We get fighting and we like it. And we are fascinated by who the toughest person in the world is. We are all drawn to it. And I mean, if you think of Tyson in his peak, when that guy would walk into a room, the whole place would go, holy shit, there's Mike Tyson.
Right.
No other sport has that. You'd be excited, oh, there's Michael Jordan or whoever. But when one of those guys walk in the room and they're looked at as the baddest human being on the planet, men, women, everybody is just drawn to it.
They are. And what I do notice in other sports is they're sort of fair weather. They will be up someone's ass if someone's winning, if they won a championship. But as soon as they lose, they boo them, they throw shit at them. And you don't get the same from what I see in fighting.
Well, what's fascinating about other sports is even those other athletes look up to,
You're right.
the Tyson-like guys.
You're right. Do you have one that you, because I know you started off in boxing, but do you have one that you prefer more than the other?
Sport? No. I like all types of fighting. I mean, I'm doing slapping now. I mean, it's just, I like it all. If somebody's hitting somebody else, I'm in.
And that, I read something, I think it was in your Time article, that has more success at the beginning than
it's
UFC
the
did.
most successful thing I've ever been a part of in such a short amount of time.
Is that not crazy?
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And, it's incredibly viral. So, I mean, the numbers that this thing pulls on social media is insane.
That's just, people just want to see people slap the out of someone.
Apparently.
Something that I think is really fascinating is your TV show that started in 2005, The Ultimate Fighter, and it's still running.
Yep.
And you attribute the success of the UFC partially because of the reality show.
No, 100% because of the reality show.
Oh, wow.
At the time, we couldn't get on television. The UFC now, when I try to tell this story, it's hard to explain, but this thing was so, it was illegal in some places. That's how bad it was. Think about this. As a grown adult, you didn't have the right to buy it on pay-per-view. Porn was on pay-per-view.
Wow.
The UFC was not allowed on pay-per-view.
And when did that change?
After The Ultimate Fighter. Once we got The Ultimate Fighter on Spike TV, and it blew up and did massive numbers. Then we got back on pay-per-view, and that's how the business really got rolling.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the show's still on now.
I literally just filmed it yesterday. Yesterday was the last shooting day for the 20. It's the 20th anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 years the show's been on.
That's crazy. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I don't think people realize how massive that is, like how successful something has to be TV wise
To stay on for 20 years.
to stay on for
So
20
true.
years, especially now when everyone wants to do a show. Everyone will do anything
It's so true.
to be in front of that camera.
And you have YouTube now and
Yeah.
social media and all these disruptors from linear television dying.
Did you think by selling that TV show it would have an impact on the UFC?
Yeah, we hoped it would. We always felt like if we could get this on free television, then the rest of the world would see it for what we
Right.
saw in it, and we thought it would be very popular. And I always believed that this would work everywhere, all around the world. So when you talk about, I used to have this, when I grew up, there was Channel 3, Channel 5, Channel 8, and Channel 13. Then in high school, cable came. It was like 33 channels. Then satellite. But I always believed that there would be a day where everybody around the world will be able to watch the same channel at the same time, and now that's happening. So I believe that in the next, 6, 7, 10 years, there will be a channel 3, channel 5, channel 8, and channel 13 globally. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Amazon, YouTube, Disney? We'll see how that plays out. But when you think about what I've told you about fighting, what's the ceiling on this business?
Right.
8 billion people. There's 8 billion people in the world.
And your belief has always been, regardless at the beginning when you were losing money, you never lost focus on what you believed this company would be.
Right.
And
everything in life is about timing. We knew we had the right product, the right people that were involved, but was the timing right for it?
But not everyone would hold out the way you did. Like I think you're being very humble about your belief and your determination that this, just your confidence in the brand and the company.
Well, I literally don't get involved in anything that I don't believe.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I don't get paid to do anymore except work, UFC shift. You couldn't pay me to promote this book or whatever. I wouldn't do it. I'd only get involved in things that I truly believe in and that I'm really passionate about.
I love that. And I think people know that. And I think now so many people are so privy to that people get paid to do half the that it's like they could smell blood. They know when it's bullshit.
True.
And the more that you water yourself down, just the less authentic and believable you're going to be.
I agree 100%.
Have you ever been screwed over by like one of your employees or someone that you've trusted and then regretted that?
That when they talk about canceling people, like getting canceled, it's always fascinating to me because who cancels you? Like you live in a cul-de-sac with your entire family, right? That's all you give a about.
Yeah.
Who's going to cancel you? Some other that you could give a shit about that don't like you are going to say whatever. I mean, you have a core of people that are in your life. Those are the only people that can cancel you, right?
I agree.
Who gives a what everybody else thinks or what their opinions are?
And it blows over. Like you only get canceled if you allow, like when those people are like, okay, and then they go into rehab the next day. Shut the fuck up. You didn't even do something big enough to go to your fake rehab. Right. That's what that is just to pretend like you're being accountable for something you're not even sorry for. That's normally what that is. If you're like you and you ignore the internet for 2 days.
It's so true.
That cancellation period is done.
And anybody else that doesn't like something you did or said or how you lived your life or whatever your deal is. You can only be canceled if you allow people that you don't give a shit about to cancel you.
Right.
You have a core or a group of people that you care about, that you interact with every day, that are your people, right? I mean, if they cancel you, that's a whole nother story.
Right. And then you should.
Who gives a shit what everybody else
care.
thinks?
I agree. So what would you say is the most pivotal moment in your life that changed you for the better?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple that stand out in my mind. It's funny, this full circle moment happened to me. Have you ever heard of the movie Vision Quest?
No.
So it was a movie in the 80s with Matthew Modine. It's a wrestling movie. It's like a wrestling Rocky movie.
Okay.
But it has all these really incredible elements in the movie that completely spoke to me when I was 15 years old. And they just invited me. It's the 40th anniversary.
Oh, no way.
And it was in Spokane, Washington, where it was filmed. And I flew there on Sunday. And they had the film. It's like 1,000 people there. And I made my sons watch the movie like 400 times when they were growing up. But my daughter had never seen it. So we flew there. We went to the 40th anniversary thing. And Matthew Modine was there. And the guy who taught him how to wrestle for the movie. But that movie was a very pivotal moment in my life. And right around that same time, we lived in Vegas, and there was this who lived behind us, single mom with 2 little kids, and he used to torture us, man. Always with us and doing stuff. And then one day I was sitting at the kitchen table and I heard somebody yelling. And I realized it was him yelling at my mom. She was out back cleaning the pool. And I realized it was him yelling over the wall at my mother. And then that day I just snapped.
Rightfully so.
And I ran out back and I jumped up on the wall and I said, if you ever stick your head over this wall again and da-da-da-da-da, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And the guy, literally, we never heard from him ever again. You know, a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
All the years that he was messing with a single mom and her two
Right.
little kids, that was the day that, like, you know, I don't want to say that's the day I became a man or any crazy like that, but everything changed after that day.
Right. The
Yeah,
respect.
it was weird. But that one moment stands out in my mind, in my life when, you know, I was growing up. Because I remember thinking, this guy would do so much crazy when we were growing up and we were little. I was just always like, if my dad was here, my dad would beat
Right.
the out of this guy. But yeah,
And you wouldn't with us if my dad was here.
100%.
You.
100%.
I hate people like that.
When was the last time that you knew you should probably see a doctor, but you didn't? Maybe you said, I'm too busy, or it'll go away on its own, or the classic, I don't even know which doctor to go to. Yep, we've all made those excuses. Honestly, booking a doctor's appointment can feel like such a chore, but it really doesn't have to be. That's where ZocDoc comes in and makes life so much easier. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and, this is the best part, instantly book an appointment. No phone tag, no awful hold music, just click and go. They've got more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty: mental health, dental, primary care to urgent care, you name it. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are close by, fit your needs, and are actually loved by real patients. Once you find the right doc, you can view their real-time availability, pick a time that works for you, and book it right then and there. Appointments usually happen fast, like within 24 to 72 hours fast. And yes, you can even find same-day appointments. I recently had a dental emergency, and I was able to see a dentist right down the street from my office in just a few hours. Because when your back's out, your anxiety's in full swing, or your tooth is doing something very suspicious, you don't want to wait a week. I use this, and you should too. It seriously takes the stress out of finding a doctor and has completely changed the way I handle my healthcare. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments. Go to ZocDoc.com/Khloe to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Khloe. One more time, ZocDoc.com/Khloe.
The last thing I want to talk about is your love story.
I met my wife in 8th grade.
Oh my God.
I went to a school called St. Viator's in Vegas my 8th grade year. And that's where we met. And
Did
we
you
knew
know in 8th grade you were going to marry her?
No, I definitely didn't know that. But you know, we were friends all through high school. We never dated. We were really good friends. And then I moved back to Boston after we graduated. Lived there for almost 10 years. And then when I came back to Vegas, she picked me up at the airport, and we've been together ever since.
I love that.
That was 1995.
I love that. Wow.
Yeah.
So what, 30 years?
Yeah, almost 30 years. Yeah.
I went to homeschool, so it took me a second to figure out. I was like, let me count.
That's funny.
What type of parenting style do you have? I think I know, but
I'm actually really laid back
you
with a
are?
lot of stuff. Yeah. Not so much with my daughter, but
Right.
with my sons,
Yeah.
I'm very laid back. Yeah.
I believe
They get to do things that she doesn't get to do.
I believe, and I think people might hate me for this, but I think there's a double standard, but for the right reasons.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
I don't want my daughter to be doing the same things my son's going to do.
I could not agree with you more.
Thank you.
And you know what? I'm lucky because my daughter doesn't disagree. She's been real easy. She's been awesome. Yeah. I really lucked out with her. So yeah, it's been good. Her and I have a really good relationship.
I pray that's what I mean, my daughter's amazing. She's my best friend, but I pray we have an easy teenage.
How old is she now?
She'll be 7.
Yeah.
I have time, but I was a terrorist as a teenager, stole cars, snuck out. I did whatever. I didn't need to. I just was a badass kid.
Right.
So I'm like, please, I don't want my karma.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had enough
Payback's coming.
I feel like I've had bad karma in life for other areas that like I'm good now.
You know what? I was a crazy kid too, but I never tell my sons any of those stories or any of that
So
stuff.
that's my problem.
Don't tell them. Don't tell the
Don't
kids.
give them any ideas.
100%.
When I grew up, I had a real job. I started as a teenager, like working at the ice cream shop, and then it was a clothing store, and I had real jobs before this world.
Right.
And I know you worked as a hotel bellman.
Yep. And construction, and I did all the. Got to have all those jobs, and that's the hard part about when you make money. Like my younger son Aiden, he didn't want to go to college. So I said, okay, but you're going to work. Mm-hmm. So he actually had to go out and start putting in applications. He was living out here in California. And I had him going to like In-N-Out Burger. Long story short, he ended up getting a job at U-Haul. And he hated that job. Hated that job. But those are you have to have that experience. You have to know. It's like dating. You got to know what a bad experience is to find out what a good experience is, right?
Agreed.
So, when you have these jobs, what they really teach you is what you don't want to do.
Right.
This is what you don't want to do. But it's hard.
It is hard. So you do encourage your kids.
How's a Kardashian going to go out and start putting in applications at U-Haul? Well, but
like I tell her now, I'm like, what do you think your job's going to be when you're a teenager? Like I like to embed that in her. Like, are you going to be a waitress? I don't know. What do you want to do? But my mom made my first job when I was besides the ice cream shop in summer, I had to clean clothing store bathrooms. And that was because I was too young to be out on the floor. They didn't trust me. And like cleaning someone's toilets, I was like, why is my mom making me do this? But now I thank my mom every day. I'm like, thank God she made me do that.
No, it's true. You have to have that. And that's what I was saying too with me and my sister. When we were growing up, like we were my mom's slaves. We used to have to do we did our own laundry. We cleaned the house. I swear to God, I'd be mowing the lawn and I'm like, when I grow up, I'm going to make enough money so I never have to mow another lawn again in my life. And I hated mowing the lawn. I had to trim the bushes and all that shit. I was a landscaper. And I swear to God, I said, I'm never doing this when I get older. This is never going to happen. But these are the kind of experiences you have to have when you're younger. Yeah. And it's definitely what freaked me out too in raising kids. I was like, my kids can never grow up the way I grew up. I grew up under way different circumstances than my kids did. And it's just impossible for your kids to have the same experiences.
But it's even impossible in ways like we were dropped off at the mall or the movie
100%.
theaters. Like they can't even do those things alone anymore. So their experiences are limited in even social interactions now.
You left the house and went out and played all day and didn't come back till the streetlights came on. That just doesn't exist anymore.
My brother and I were saying, do you remember how we would play in like a water reservoir? But we loved it. It was
riding our bikes down the main streets and like it's incredible that so many kids from the 80s are still alive. I know. It's insane.
Well, Dana, thank you so much for coming
Thanks
all the way
for
from Vegas. I mean, your schedule is crazy. You would love my sister Kim because she flies just as much as you do.
I bet she does. Yeah, no, you guys are animals, man. I respect how hard you guys work. And people don't get it. You'll always have people talking a bunch of do nothing, know nothing people that talk. Having cameras in your faces growing up the way you did all the time, it's a nightmare. That's I do this much with our reality show that we do. You guys are a whole nother level, and people don't realize how hard you guys work.
Well, thank you.
Congrats on all your success.
Thank you. Yeah, you started 2005. We started 2006, 7. Yeah. So right around.
But
the
it's
same time,
in your personal space, in your house, and in your cars, and in your personal life. It's tough. Yeah. Not easy.
It's a lot, but somehow we just get closer and closer.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.